Yo, hi. I was just noticing that the last part said it's shh.
I was wondering what I was reading. I was like, what is it? It's
It's shh. Everybody be quiet.
right, right.
Welcome, 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 everybody. Paranormal Brew. Everybody knows me. And I know that the man sitting on the other side of me needs no introduction. We have Dalen Spratt from Ghost Brothers, and I am honored to have you on this evening. Thank you so much.
Karen, I appreciate you having me. It's definitely cool to be a part of your show.
Oh my gosh, I love it. We have everybody's on here. There's a lot of people watching.
I see, I see. That's cool.
So, I do want to. We were talking a little bit before we went on, and I said that I am a huge fan of. For anybody that has not seen Dallen's YouTube channel, he does a quick little show. They're usually like 5-10 minutes.
Mhm.
Yeah, with his wife, his beautiful wife, by the way, but might hide you. Um, and they do a show called Ghost to the Roasted, and some of the footage you get, I have never seen.
Really, I think that's the hardest part. Is like because I have my boy who has nothing to do with paranormal. His name is Brandon. He goes out and finds the clips for me, so he doesn't know clips that people have seen before or
Right.
haven't seen before. So I just try to, hopefully the majority of people haven't seen them before.
Well, I haven't. And then, so interesting enough, like I was watching one of them the other night, and I had an experience at a place called Hinsdale House in Hinsdale, New York. And I kept telling everybody, like, I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, the eyes were glowing. They looked deep in my soul. I thought it was like a bear or something like that. But there was a video that you two watched that Brandon, you showed two of them, and it was a family video. It was like looking down the steps.
Oh yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
I know exactly what you're talking about. That Stacy still talks about that clip to this day. Yeah,
I was like,
creepy.
that's what I saw. That's exactly what it looked like. What I saw.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I mean, everybody knows that story because I talk about it all the time because it scared me. I was like George Costanza, like in a nursing home, pushing the people out of the way to get out. Like, I was like, dude, run. There's a bear over
No,
there.
I'm already knowing.
But that's what I saw. Um, I have you on. Everybody's saying hey and how awesome you guys are and everything like that. But can we talk about like just how you got into it? I remember watching something you said that you basically were you into the paranormal before you decided you wanted to because do you produce Ghost Brothers?
Yeah, so we produced Ghost Brothers, but no, we weren't into it before Ghost Brothers at all. Like we had no background, no interest, no desire, no knowledge, nothing before Ghost Brothers. Probably like in 2000 and man, when was that? Probably 2012. Me and Juwan was working for BET in Atlanta doing wardrobe for all of their TV shows.
Uh-huh.
You're just watching how they would make TV shows every day. And we were roommates at the time. And I'll never forget, I woke up one night and it was late. It was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. My TV was on. And one of the ghost hunting shows was on television. So I remember, it had to be. I didn't really watch any of the shows back then.
Right.
So I'm assuming it was maybe like Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures, whatever was randomly on TV in like 2012.
Right.
I just remember saying to myself, I've never seen any black people doing that. Like
Right.
anytime it came on TV, it was always white folks.
Right.
And I was just wondering why was that? You know, I grew up in the church. My mother's a pastor, and I was just curious, like, what was the reason why we don't see too many people that look like me on television hunting ghosts? And
Right.
so first thing I did was I just hopped on the internet and I like Googled black ghost hunters, and I could not find a single person.
Right.
I started reaching out to paranormal groups on Facebook, on the internet. Like, just I found a website that had every state and the majority of the state's paranormal groups with a contact email. So I would go from state to state, group to group, and send out emails looking for black ghost hunters. And I kept getting the same response: "Man, we don't know any. We don't have any in our group. We don't
Yeah,
know any."
it's
And so,
true.
me and Jawan, we just shot it ourselves. We went to Savannah. We shot like a 3-minute video, and we put it on YouTube, and that was it. And like 6 years later, I was living in LA, driving for Uber, and I got an email from a television network. They were looking for black ghost hunters, and
Oh,
the only people that they could find was the clip that I had put on YouTube 6 years earlier.
wow.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is amazing.
it's random. It's
That
random.
is
This
so
guy,
awesome. But
yeah.
you felt something though 6 years ago. Like I mean, you were onto something, but then kind of just like,
I mean, I had never done it before. I didn't know what I was doing.
right.
I just saw that there was nobody like me doing it, and I was just curious to why. So I
Yeah,
did it once, and then we end up getting the show, and then it was just cool because we were able to grow in front of the audience and all of our audience. Like, we didn't come in as professionals, and that's what I wanted to make it clear. Like, I wanted to make people understand that we did not know what we were doing. And
right.
that's the first conversation we had with the network, and the first conversation we had with the production company was just like, don't lie to people. Like, don't have us coming in being this television's first black group, but lying to people that saying that we're experts. We
Right.
don't know what we're doing. So let us learn in front of the world.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And
I
people used
remember because my mom was like, there's this new show on, because by that time, like all these shows are coming out, right? And you're just like, oh yeah, what's it about,
Mhm,
and my mom's like, it's Ghostbusters. She's like, I watched the first episode. It was so funny. It was so awesome. They're so entertaining. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. I was like, okay. And the first episode I remember watching, and I don't remember who it was. It was a private house, but two of you were so funny. But two of you were walking up the steps into the attic, and whoever was like, they were like back to back to each other.
mhm,
Like, I think Juwan was on the bottom, but maybe his face was to the person that was. I don't know who was going up first, and something in the attic scared him,
mhm.
and he went like kind of falling down the steps onto
Yep.
whoever was underneath of him. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh my gosh! I was like, I was the first episode I watched. I was in love with it. I loved it. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, that was the Allen house. That was one of our first, because people used to always be like, "Why are y'all running and scared and yelling?" I'm like, y'all don't even realize, like, what y'all are watching right now is literally like the second time in life that I have ever investigated anything. Like, we have no history of doing this, so we're terrified. But yeah, that was me that you're talking about. That was at the Allen house.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, it was dark in the attic. It was dark, and I tried to grab the rail of the stairs, and I accidentally grabbed a trash bag that was in the attic. And
That's right.
in the dark, ghosts and trash bags feel the same, 100%.
I was dying. I thought it was so funny, and it's a good show. It really is. And I met you guys at Power Unity last year.
Hmm.
And I remember after like the VIP party and stuff, and everybody was back to the hotel. Juwan had come in and bought like 15 pizzas for everybody and just said,
Hmm.
"Thank you from the Ghost Brothers. We really appreciate all the love and support." And I thought that was so awesome.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like it was something different. Nobody's ever done that at any event that I know of that I've been at.
yeah.
I thought that was cool. You know what I mean? I just, you guys are awesome. And then who does the DJing? Because I remember somebody had grabbed the DJ at the party and started just
And
DJing the entire party.
when was this?
With a Unity.
If that
I want
sounds
to
about
say,
right. If that was anybody, that was probably no. That might have been Marcus. I don't know. Yeah, it
Or
sounds
what
not
do you just
not
like push the DJ out? Oh, somebody knows they were there. Juwan did the DJ.
oh, Juwan was DJing. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you guys just took over the rest of the like everybody was DJing and dancing and stuff. It was good. It was a fun time. We had a lot of fun.
I love it.
Um,
I love it.
so you formed Ghost Hunters and like I mean, I'm sorry, Ghost Brothers. And then um now is are you guys done? Like are there gonna be more?
Oh yeah. Right
Yeah,
now, we're just waiting for our turn. Like I tell
yeah,
everybody, it's a roster, and then like right now, Kindred Spirits and I think Destination Fear are up, and you just
yeah,
gotta wait until that rotation till you come back in rotation again. And
yeah,
that's the reason why I started doing my own stuff on in my YouTube channel with the
yeah,
Graveyard Shift and Ghost of the Roasted. So I just felt like there was too much time in between seasons.
right.
And yeah, and I just want the supporters to be able to, watch us more often. So,
Yeah,
I started doing something in my spare time, and I'm gonna bring the guys on, Juwan and Marcus. I was just talking to Marcus earlier, and he was talking about coming on the episode of the Graveyard Shift. So we can
right.
get it together.
So okay, so let's talk about Graveyard Shift. So for all that don't know, Down goes to graveyards, and it's famous people. Really, like I know I not maybe not most of it. I know I saw you do Marilyn Monroe, Hugh Hefner, which that was a I never knew that story that Hugh spent that 75. See, that's why I like watching your channel because you
Yeah,
also talk about some like facts and history of where you're at, you know?
yeah.
But Hugh had like specifically paid $75,000 to be buried next to Marilyn Monroe.
That's
And
weird, right? It's
right.
weird.
So I was like, wow. And then they would like show little clips of like him and stuff. I was like, wow, was he like infatuated with Marilyn Monroe?
That's what it
Yeah.
looked like. That's what it
Right,
seemed like. Yeah.
right. So aside from like the ghost box, what are you using? Are you using just like a spirit box? Like what are you using when you do the um when you're trying to communicate with?
Just a simple spirit box app. Like I try to keep it real simple. I think I might start introducing some more equipment. It's just that I don't know how much time I'm going to get at these cemeteries when I go. I don't know if people are going to be out there. Like I don't know what I'm walking into. So I just try to keep it as simple as possible. And I just found like the spirit box, it's on my phone. It's less things I have to carry, and it seems to work well. People say that the more you tend to use it, the more receptive you become to responses. So yeah, I've been using it for about 5 years now. Ever since we've been started Ghost Brothers, we
Yeah,
got so much flack when we first started doing Ghost Brothers for using that app because nobody was using apps at the time when we came into the field. Everything was like an actual spirit box or a REM pod. Like nobody, they thought it was all like bullshit if you used an app. But
right.
now everybody sees it's just way more convenient. And I appreciate that more people are starting to like utilize their cell phone and stuff.
So he said Joe DiMaggio is mad.
A lot of people were pissed at us using apps. Whatever.
No, I think he's mean about Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, what about yeah. Oh, definitely.
Joe DiMaggio is mad that he was buried next to Marilyn. Yeah, no, I know. So, but aside from that, when you're in the cemeteries, I was like watching this, right? Because, I mean, I think it's just a natural draw for people who are into the paranormal. Cemeteries are a draw. I don't
Hmm.
think they're all haunted, and I don't think they're all like active, but a lot of them are. My first thought was like, I wonder if somebody's like at somebody's grave and like overhears him over there, talking and doing stuff? Are they like, have you ever had anybody interact with you that was like, yo, what are you doing here? Like, what are you doing?
I
Um,
well, it's funny that you say not all cemeteries are haunted. I probably would have thought that too. But ever since I've been doing this, I'm convinced that every cemetery is an active hot spot of like spirited activity. I even can go as far as say that I feel like every cemetery has a overseer, someone who is resting there,
mhm.
whose sole job is to watch over that place.
Do-
I've been in cemeteries, and I know it sounds crazy, man, because it sounds crazy telling people this stuff because I know how it sounds. Because if I wasn't doing it, I would probably think it sounds crazy too. But like I was in a cemetery in Atlanta and nobody was there. Nobody was in the cemetery. Nobody was in the cemetery. And I set up the tripod. my camera and I'm talking to the camera. Tearing out the corner of my eye, I see a man standing there. I can tell you exactly what he was wearing. He had khaki pants on. He had a belt. His shirt was tucked in. He had a long sleeve plaid shirt, a burgundy plaid shirt tucked in. He was standing to the side with his arms crossed, staring at me. So
Hmm.
I'm straight ahead filming, but in my peripheral, I see this man, and I'm
Right.
thinking, "Oh shit, somebody must be, you
Right.
know, yeah,
Watching.
like trying to see like trying to visit someone over here, and I'm in
Right.
the way."
Right.
And I just didn't see them walk up on me as I'm talking to the camera.
Right.
Karen, I turned around, and as soon as I turned around, disappeared. It
Yeah.
was gone.
That's amazing.
And in that moment, I knew he was watching me, seeing what I was doing. And in
Yeah.
that moment, I was just like, "Hey, y'all, my name is Dalen. I come with love, peace,
Yeah.
respect. I'm just here to film and to speak to people that may have not been spoken to in a long time." And as soon as I said that, everything went back to normal again.
Wow.
Like it was,
That's awesome. That's
it's
incredible.
it's crazy. It's
But you
crazy.
know what though? I think if I think like with anybody that investigates anything or kind of like puts their, their passion and heart into something or, like, and that's what you do. I do think that you tend to, once you find that niche, you open up, that's what you open yourself up to, right? So I think that maybe if that's like going to, I'll have to be honest with you, every summertime I've gone to, I've not been disappointed with like EVPs or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So I do know, and even Potter's Fields, like, where there's no headstones or anything
mhm,
and you're standing there, like sometimes, I mean, you get activity there as well.
yep,
Um, but there's only been one cemetery I've been to where I felt that feeling that you felt about somebody that overwatches the cemetery.
mhm,
Um, and it's real strong. And this is in the like the Pine Barrens in Jersey, you know what I mean, like near there. So it's Atzion Cemetery is what it's called. But like when you walk in there, like I always felt like I need to like just say something to them, like, hey, we're not here to be disrespectful. We're just here to try to communicate, and then I feel like they're just looking like this the whole time, like,
yep. Just watching, just
mhm.
being vigil.
Yeah. And then one thing goes wrong, you know what I mean? Like it's like you, you know,
Mhm,
they let you know that they're not happy about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So, now I was good. Now you did answer my next question. Aside from the spirit box stuff, like have you had any personal experiences at these cemeteries?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, a few. Like that was probably the most interesting, like I said, seeing that. But I've had I brought my really good friend out to a cemetery here in Atlanta, and there was this pinwheel that was at the gravesite. I guess someone passed away, and I guess the family member put this pinwheel that just blows in the wind by their grave. And we went on a really, really windy day, and the wind was blowing, the trees were swaying, the pinwheel was spinning fast,
yeah,
fast. And my friend was out there. It was his first time ever doing anything like that. And I was like, Anthony, I want to try something. I was like, if there's any spirits out here and you want us to leave your grave, please stop the pinwheel. And Taryn, the videos on my page, the pinwheel's spinning fast, and then it just stops. But the wind is blowing, the trees are still blowing.
amazing.
Everything is blowing and moving. The pinwheel just stops. Mind you, it was going fast.
Wow.
I was like, okay. So we left. Like we told you we
Yeah,
would.
yeah, yeah.
We left.
But sometimes you want to ask that question, but then you're like, if you get an answer that they say, yeah, do you really want to leave?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like you want to ask it, but you know what I mean?
you
Like you want
don't
to,
want to, but you have to because you got to respect what you told them.
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, what was I going to say? Do you just go to cemeteries locally, or are you starting to like go? Like, how do you pick the cemeteries that you go to? Is it who's buried there, or
Both, both. So my series is pretty much directed a couple different ways. So I go to random cemeteries and have random conversations with random people. I like those. And then sometimes I go to specific people's graves. So I'll look up a story. There's this lady that passed away 100 years ago in Georgia. She they say that if you go to her grave now and circle around her grave at night and say, Mary, what happened to your children? Her tombstone will start bleeding blood. And so
Oh.
I did this whole episode around, and she's actually buried in the same cemetery as John Bonet Ramsey. Remember that story
Oh,
years ago?
yeah, yeah.
So I go to pointed stories every once in a while, but the plan is this year to go all over. Like I've been to Hawaii, I've been to LA. Everywhere I go, I try to stop at cemeteries. So I want to incorporate it along with my travels.
Well, if you ever go to Jersey, you got to go to Batstow Cemetery
Okay.
and Atzion Cemetery. They're very close to each other.
Okay.
Um, Never been disappointed there. Amazing EVPs. I mean, and Batstow Cemetery is a little bit more, feels a little bit more like on the heavier side of things.
Yep. Yep.
But both are amazing. So you're gonna bring Joanne and Marcus along. Are they gonna do the graveyard shift, or are they gonna do? Is it just gonna be you and your wife doing like Ghosted or Roasted, which I think is amazing?
I was thinking about that. I might go ahead because I use StreamYard, so I might
Right.
can bring in I was thinking about bringing Marcus and his wife,
Oh, that would be cute.
making them stream in, and then we do like a tag team Ghosted or Roasted.
That is so. That's so good. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. You know what's good about, like I said, what's good about that is my boyfriend, like he really doesn't like to watch the shows and stuff like that. He's not into,
My
but
wife isn't either.
he enjoys that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like he's like, we were watching it the other night. He was like laughing and chuckling. He's like,
Yeah,
"This is so good." You know?
yeah.
It's
'Cause it
like-
gives people that aren't interested in it the freedom to call bullshit.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean? And not be offensive to people.
right, right.
Because any other time they come in and you're watching something, they're like, "That's fake. That's fake." It can kind of put a damper on your parade because you're into it.
Right.
Ghost of the Roasted allows you to debate. It allows people to have different perspectives. It allows you to call BS. It allows
Yeah,
you to love it if you do, hate it if you don't. So it just gives you the freedom to be either a believer or a disbeliever throughout the whole show.
yeah. And it's interesting to see somebody that's not into it, how, because her perspective of
Right.
what
How
she's
she process
seeing.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and like I said, the clips that you guys get, I've never seen, and some of them are impressive.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna work on that. I want to do more. So yeah, that's gonna
Well, I
people.
know you guys had said at one point, like, if you wanted to take people's stuff, are you doing that?
So that's what's happening this next go round. So we're gonna release the next Ghost of the Roasted, but we're gonna have an email address for people to submit clips, and
That's
so we're
awesome.
gonna be promoting that from now on because I feel like it'll be a lot easier too for people to just get clips that people haven't seen before because now
Right,
they're coming from people's personal stash.
right,
Only fear was, well, my fear, Stacy didn't care. My fear is I just don't want people to get offended
right,
if we roast your clip.
right,
Because it's serious to you and it's serious to us.
right,
But the whole purpose of the show is to poke holes and to be fun and so I just don't want people to get offended if I think your clip is BS.
right. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and they have to be. I mean, you're gonna, no matter what, you're always gonna have that person that's like, they're convinced,
Mhm.
that it is what it is, and
Yeah.
anybody that says different, you know what I mean, they're not gonna be happy. But as long as you put that disclaimer out there and people are submitting their videos to you,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
basically putting that in, you know what I mean? They're putting themselves open for that,
Yeah.
They have
Yeah.
to be prepared. And if they can't accept constructive criticism, or maybe
Right.
another side of it,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, that's what I do. If I get anything and I question it, I have people that I go to that I say, "What do you think about this?" Because, I don't want to put it out there unless, I get a second, third, fourth, fifth opinion. You know
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So actually, it's a good thing. I mean, for some people, they could maybe send you stuff and say, "Hey, what do you think about this? This is where I was at, and this is what happened, and what do you think?" you know?
Exactly. So that's the plan. That's what we're gonna do starting this week. We're a little behind for the episode this week, so it's probably gonna drop tomorrow. And yeah, man, that's the plan. Get people to start sending in their clips. I want to expand it by bringing in, like I said, maybe Marcus and his wife, or having Jawan drop in. and then maybe even open up Ghost of the Roasted to the viewers. Do Stream Yard and allow them to come in and chime in on Ghosted and Roasted and bring in somebody new every episode. It's a lot of stuff we can do, and the cool thing is on YouTube we have the freedom to do whatever we want to do.
Right. Right. And that's cool. And that's the thing. I love you. I wish YouTube, my YouTube, I know yours probably went blew up, boom, really quick, but for people like me, like it takes a while,
Yeah,
to get there with like followers and viewers and stuff. And, you
mm-hmm.
know, um, I mean, any tips for people that are trying to do this that, aren't faking stuff and are trying to really put stuff out there,
Yeah.
because it's harder. The people that aren't faking stuff, it's harder for them to get the follows
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. No, it's all just in understanding how platforms like YouTube work. So you have to be consistent with your footage and with your content that you're posting. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
posting one clip on YouTube isn't gonna get you 1,000 followers and 1,000,000 views. A lot of people, you have to be consistent. And when you're posting your own evidence, of course, you can't make the spirits just do whatever, you know what I mean? They act and react when they want to. So I'm not saying you're gonna have like a whole arsenal of footage that you can put on your YouTube channel. But if you're planning to grow on YouTube, consistency is the key and
Right.
posting consistently. And it's all in your titles of the videos. It's all in the thumbnails you use. All of that is the mixture to kind of go viral on YouTube. And
Yeah.
it's just building up that community. But you just have to be consistent with your posting for
Right.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Um, are you guys now? You guys. So, are you the only one out of the brothers that have a YouTube channel?
Yes, Marcus has one, but he does that's for his barbering. So
Right.
Barber Star. So he has his channel, all that type of stuff.
Right.
Out of the three, I'm the only one that has my personal channel doing ghost related stuff.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yep.
I love it. I think it's everybody that's commenting say they watch it and they think it's like so awesome. Like, I want more Ghost that are roasted though. I'm telling you.
That's yeah, I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna definitely do more. It's the plan for Ghost to the Roasted. I just wanted to have I the plan was to use that as filler content. Like I wanted the graveyard shift to be the weekly like appetizer. I mean, excuse me, entree. And I needed like an appetizer during earlier in the week. And so me and my wife were doing the Ghost of the Roasted, but I had no idea that it was going to be received as well that it has, and that she would be received as well. She walks around the house now like wearing sunglasses on the inside, like, calling herself a paranormal investigator. And I was like, you done got Hollywood since we started doing Ghost of the Roasted.
I love that. I love it. She's like, I'm gonna be a ghost hunter. You're like, no, you're not. You're not. She said I could be. There was one where she's like, well, I could be the ghost sister. You're like the ghost friend.
Right. Y'all blowing her head up, man. Too many people telling her she's good at her job now. She feels like she can do it all.
She's cute. I
Mhm.
really do. I'm a fan. I love it. Um, now you guys go to. Do you guys? I know you guys go to the New Jersey Para Unity event, but do you guys do a lot of other events around the U.S. or
Yeah,
anything?
we're always doing events. We're actually booking out our calendar this year. We try to do an event a month. So every Halloween weekend, we do our straight ghosting weekend in Savannah, Georgia.
Hmm.
It's like the Ghost Brothers weekend where we probably do like maybe two or three investigations. We do a haunted pub crawl. We do a haunted escape room. We do all of it's a weekend full of events with
Oh wow, that sounds awesome.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So we do it every year in Savannah, Ghost Halloween weekend. So we'll be posting that soon, so people can start getting tickets again for this coming year. And yeah, man, we got events all over. So just follow us on social media. You can definitely see where yeah, where our events would be.
Laura's asking, with your mom being in the church, does she support the paranormal investigating? Yeah, how's the family and stuff? I mean, like when you said I'm gonna do this ghost hunting stuff, I first of all, did you even have any idea that you guys would blow up the way you blew up?
Not at all. Not at all. Like we didn't. I mean, we're surprised every day. Every opportunity that we get to this day, we're just like, we never in a million years could we have ever imagined the journey that would come along with this. And we were talking about the other day. We was like, man, we would really do this up until the day we pass away. Like it's
So
cool.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it don't take nothing to do it, and the reward is just it's great. It's to be at these conventions and just meet people and just hear their stories of how like much joy or laughter that we brought to them. Like that's the most rewarding thing. And my mom, like, she supports me as her son. Like I had one of those mothers. Like if I told her I wanted to be an astronaut, she would have went outside and built me a spaceship. Like she's one of those type.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So even though she's a pastor and I know how she really feels because she told me one day. I remember
Right.
one day after like the first or second season of Ghost Brothers, I was just like, man, mama, you know why everybody loves Ghost Brothers? And she was like, why, baby? And I was like, because we don't know what we're doing. And she looked at me, and I've never seen her look at me that way. And she was just like, you're right. Because if you knew what you were doing, you wouldn't be doing it. And she just walked off.
Oh, interesting.
She
Yeah.
just walked off. She was like, if you really knew what you were doing,
Right.
you wouldn't even be touching this.
Oh,
And that
interesting.
and that moment let me know how she really felt about what I did,
Right.
but she knows I'm grown and I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway.
Right.
All
Right.
she can
Right.
do
Right.
is what she's always done for me, and that's just keep me covered in prayer.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And then and then you get, and now all of a sudden, it's like, I would imagine it became pretty popular pretty quick, so like going from, you know, n- you're walking on down the street and people are like, oh my gosh, that's, Dalen from Ghost Brothers. Oh my, can I get your picture? Which I'm sure people, started noticing you and started, I mean, everybody in your private world, is affected by that, like whether it be, but I'm sure everybody's supportive, because if they weren't, you wouldn't be where you're at right now.
Yeah, yeah. And what's cool about our show, yes, well, it's not like it depends on where we are, where we
Mhm.
get noticed. Like I feel like our supporters are all over, but they're definitely in pockets.
Mm.
So like I can fly into Atlanta and nobody would care two craps that it's Dalen from Ghost Brothers. And they probably haven't even seen Ghost Brothers. But I could land in Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky, and
Well,
everybody in the
that's
airport.
weird.
Yeah, it's just crazy where,
Yeah.
and then it's interesting who watches the show. Like
Right.
I've been I've been in at the airport and I've had a random TSA agent pull me out of line, and I'm like, "Did I have something in my bag?" And they're like, "No, you're Dalen from the Ghost Brothers. I just wanted to I
Oh,
wanted
good
to pat
measure.
you down."
That's
I've
awesome.
been I've been in the hood, the hood, and have been approached and be like, "Hey, you that dude from that ghost show." And I'm like, whoa, you watch that show? Like I've been like me and Jawan were in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, walking down the street, and this guy runs up on us and was like, hey. And I'm thinking,
Right.
again, it's funny, like you forget that you're on TV.
Right.
So I jumped straight into, man, what's up? Like
Yeah.
aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who,
Yeah.
like, what's up? And this man had his phone in his hand, and he was like, excuse me, is this you?" And he had a picture of me, Marcus, and Jawan on his phone, and we were like, "Yeah." And he was just like, "Oh my god, I love the Ghost Brothers. I downloaded illegally on the internet all the time."
Oh shit!
And I was like,
I'm
"Okay,
down with
I
it.
love it."
Oh, it's so. Now, have since you've come out though, have you and been out on the mainstream and everything? Have you noticed the difference of your influence on the Black community with the paranormal?
Yeah, I've noticed, and I'm not gonna say it's because of us, but I have noticed it since us. I remember going to conventions years ago, and we would be the only black people.
Right.
Now we'll go to conventions, a- and it's like two black people. It's like, whoa, okay.
We're
We
getting
get there.
somewhere.
The numbers are going up. They going up slow, but they going up.
Well, I always like I have a lot of black friends, and they say I'm crazy for what I do.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like they're afraid of it.
yeah,
So afraid of it, and
yeah,
they're like, "You gonna bring home something? You're gonna get something, and this and that." And I'm like, "It's not like that. It's not
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
But
It's cool. It's cool, but a lot of more minorities are stepping out. It's cool. Not even black people, just minorities. Period. Like a lot of brown people come out to these events, and it's cool. It's cool just to hear their perspective because the majority of us did grow up like that.
yeah,
Black and brown people, blacks
right,
and Mexicans, Hispanics, like the that group of people. It is very, very like taught and embedded in us that we don't play with spirits from an
right,
early age.
right, yeah,
Not saying white folks don't get that same talk, but I
right,
know for sure black and brown folks get that same conversation. Like you just do not play with the dead.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
yeah, but I, we have those experiences, and I feel like it's a disservice and a disjustice to a lot of black and brown people because you're taught to not acknowledge that stuff.
Hmm.
Just because you're not acknowledging it doesn't make it not real. You're just
Right,
sweeping it under the rug at that point.
right,
Now you have all these people, kids, primarily that are dealing with these paranormal issues, and they can't talk to their family because their
right.
family are telling them it's not real or
Yep.
sweep it under the rug or don't talk about stuff like that. So it's just cool to make a safe place for people to be able to express themselves.
So one day you have a daughter.
Yep.
One day she says, "Dad, I want to hunt ghosts."
I mean, oh, to be honest, I ain't gonna never tell her it's not. I'm not gonna ever tell her it's not something. But I don't, to be honest, I don't want her to. I really don't want her to. I really don't want her to.
And
Because
why?
I don't want her dealing with that. Especially I don't know. 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 Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know. I guess it just depends on what type of person she grows up to be. Like the person she is now, fearless, feisty, like all of that. Okay. Like I feel like she can handle it later in life, but I don't want
Right.
her. I don't know. I don't know, but that's just a protective father in me because I know that there's dark stuff over there as well.
Mhm, mhm.
Everything ain't Casper.
Right, right, right. That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
ain't Casper.
Right.
And I just don't want her to bump into nothing like that.
But would you then, let's say she wanted to do it, do you think that you would be like, okay, fine, you do this with me for a while?
Oh, 100%. She would never go with anyone other than me for her first
Ever.
100. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I wouldn't even want my baby girl can't because nobody's gonna look out for her the way I would at all.
What about Uncle Juan or Uncle Marcus?
Hell no, I don't trust him with her either. Because Jawan don't know what he doing anyway. So that's the last thing I need. That's like the blind leading the blind. No.
So
Mm-mm.
you produce Ghost Brothers, but I also you're an author. Did you
Yep.
write?
Yep. Me and my mom wrote a book years ago. It's called A Mother's Guide to Manhood. It's a book for single women raising sons. So it was just like
Amazing.
this big thing that people were saying women can't raise boys to be men. But I was raised by my mom. So yeah, we wrote a book just kind of telling our story. But that was years ago.
But I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are things that your fans like, want to know because I mean,
yeah,
I think it's all that's an awesome concept of a book.
yeah. A Mother's Guide to Manhood. You can get it online. It's online still. But yeah, I'm probably gonna write something else. I might write something in the paranormal. I don't know what it is, but yeah,
Well,
maybe in a year or two.
yeah. Um, you should because I mean, honestly, like even as to why you started Ghost Brothers, you know what I mean, and
Mhm.
then becoming, you know, an inspiration for minorities, people of color, anything like that, for them to be able to feel comfortable, to, like you said, share their stories. People, it's a shame that there's a lot of people out there that feel like they can't because they're going to get made fun of, or, it's not, not normal.
Yeah.
Paranormal is the new normal.
Right.
know?
Right.
So, I mean, it's good that you could be an influence, and I love influencers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you, sir, are an influencer.
Taryn, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I hate to call this interview short, but I have to
It's,
get up out of here, Taryn.
yes, that's
I am,
fine. You
I
gave
am,
me you gave me 40 minutes of your time.
no,
And
I
that's
appreciate it.
I thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you. And I have to come back with the guys. So we have to set up another
Yeah.
time to come back and do
And
it again.
Stacy.
And Stacy, for sure. I'm not even gonna tell her because she gonna be like, "Oh, they want to interview me now." No, Stacy, they don't.
I am a fan of hers. I love it. I love it. But I thank you so much for coming on.
Darren, I
And I
appreciate
look forward to more videos of Ghosted and Roasted and more Ghost Brothers, and hopefully and seeing you guys. I think you guys will be at New Jersey Para Unity and stuff like
it.
that. So I'll see you there. And I enjoyed my time with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Darren, thank you so much. I appreciate you. See you soon.
See you soon, baby.
All right.
Good night. That was awesome. And I actually got longer time than what I thought I was going to get. So I'm happy about that. But that was a really, really good interview. And please go check out his YouTube and check out everything else that he's got going on. And look for more new episode of Ghost Brothers. I am sorry if there were questions out there that I didn't get to. I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time, so I was trying to just, get through a good interview in the time that I had. But so I appreciate the time that he gave us, and I thank you everybody for coming on and watching the show. And I will be back on Wednesday with Our Haunted Lives, and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope you guys join me again. And I will see you. And thank you, everybody, so much for joining me. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll see y'all later.